Hello and welcome to Brian the Writer. There's Midnight the dog, by the way. Um, Today, first of all, I sound a little bit different, maybe a little bit more gravelly. I've been sick for a couple of days now. So I'm sitting here doing some work, and I've got my trusty tea with me, hopefully to clear out some of this, and then I can go back to at least feeling better. But as long as I was down for the count and not too mobile, I figured I would take a little bit of time to write about a topic that's sort of near and dear to my heart. The topic of writing reviews. Now, I know I've encouraged people in the past to anytime you read a book, sit down and write a review. But I realized the more I thought about it, I never really told anybody what do I mean by that. So I thought maybe I'd do a little video talking about specifically, what do I mean? So I think that a lot of people think that writing a review is a daunting thing. They get that misconception because reviews have always sort of, at least mentally, been the purview of like professional reviewers in New York Times and Harper's Weekly and National Review and those kinds of things. And I think that's a bit of an antiquated thought, because today, really anybody can write a review for a novel they've read. Either in the two examples I'm going to use are the Amazon and Goodreads. There are other outlets out there for writing reviews. I just happen to like those. Those are ones that I write on most often. And it really doesn't take a lot of time if you know what you're doing, and if you stick to what I'll call the basic review. It doesn't take very long at all. Now, I'm going to let you in on a bit of a secret. Authors, generally speaking, really don't care that much what you put into a review. I mean, obviously, if you put something completely insane that proves you didn't really read the book or something, well, we're going to notice. But we generally don't care about the content. What we care about, and this may sound a bit like I'm pandering, but it's really true that I just care that you took the time to write a review. You took the time to give it however many stars you're going to give it, and however much text you want to put into it. And that really makes me happy. I got one recently that was 2 lines long. Simple. Very simple. Don't need much more than that. That made me happy. That made me smile. As a rule, I generally don't write 1-star reviews. I try to avoid writing 2-star reviews, 3 and up. Here's the reason. So a while ago, there was a very famous book that was written, New York Times bestseller. Although they got tons of reviews and tons of awards, and it was made into a motion picture, I didn't like it. I didn't think it was that good. I didn't care about the characters. The scenes were kind of one-dimensional. I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. Obviously, it did things for people out there. People were liking it. So I would have given the book like 2 stars. Would have said had potential. It could have been a lot more, but it just sort of failed on launch. But obviously, I was in the minority, so I didn't review it. I just sort of let it go. I generally only will review things 3 and 4 and 5 stars. My 3-star reviews are usually for books that are good. They just didn't trip my trigger. There was just something about them that I just didn't. Just didn't excite me in any way. My 4-star is generally, that's like what I give most of the time for books that I read that I really enjoy. And I enjoy most books. I'm kind of an easy mark in that regard. And 5 stars are for books that just completely knocked my socks off, left me with the feeling that I desperately wanted to see more out of the storyline. I look at it this way. I give you a 5-star if when I get to the end of the book, I said, man, oh man, I really wish the book had gone on so I could continue living in this world that was created. Excuse me. So anyway, there are three basic types of reviews, I believe, anyway. I look at them as basic, simple, and complex. So let's talk a little bit about each of these. Basic is as simple as 2 sentences. One of my favorite reviews, as I mentioned before, it was pretty much just, I liked it, period. Really enjoyed the writing, period. That was it. That was a 4-star review that I got for, I want to say it was The Dramatic Dead or something. Really, really enjoyed that short, sweet, to the point review. Anybody can write a basic review. You don't have to do anything specific about it. You don't have to just sit there and worry about the words and who's going to read it. Now, the simple review is the ones that I tend to write. I will usually add things like, I'll usually add like, it'll be a paragraph about character. It'll be a paragraph about setting. Usually I'll add a paragraph about whether I like the writing style or not. I always do try to put one thing in there like could improve on or would like to have seen more of X, but it doesn't always have to be in there. It's just something I try to add if I come across something that kind of sticks out to me. But that's what I consider to be kind of a simple one. Now that one requires a little bit more thought. Normally I sit down and write it out on a piece of paper before I do it. Not necessary for most books. For most readers, it's not necessary. You can just put out that basic one, and that's going to fit the bill. Now, there are the more complex ones, and those are the reviews written by an organization like, and I'm going to dime one out now. I'm going to say Nerd Girl, because I love Nerd Girl. They're actually great. They write really good reviews. They post them on Amazon, post them on Goodreads. They have their own newsletter. They have their own blog. So it's more in-depth. But these people literally write reviews, and it's a hobby for them. It's not a job. It's what they do. There are people out there that write reviews for hobby. And some of them are very, very good at their job, honestly. So my point is this. Look. You don't have to put a lot of time and effort into writing a review. In short, I think that if you can take some time, the second you finish a book, go on to Amazon, go on to Goodreads, quickly write something up. My point to all this is that it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be a fancy review at all. Couple of lines, hit the stars, hit submit, and honestly, that may be the one review that makes that author smile all day long and keeps them writing for the rest of the year. So again, thank you very much for spending time with me. I hope you don't get the cold that I have, because it's not much fun. So all right, have a great week, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.